What's going on, guys? So look, today I want to talk to you guys about a foundational principle in fitness and health. And it's something that everyone overlooks, and it's the reason why people see plateaus. It's the reason why people see progress in the gym the first year, maybe two, and then very shortly after, they stop seeing progress altogether. So you have to understand this foundational principle, and that principle is progressive overload. So why is it important? It's important because you have to understand when you're training, you have to have a long-term game plan for how you're going to change your exercise selections over time. Because if you don't, you're going to run into that problem I mentioned just now, where you don't see progress. Your body is smart. It's going to adapt to the demands that you put on it. And because your body's smart, once it adapts to the current demands that you put on it, it's going to stop adapting, which is why you stop growing, which is why you stop getting stronger, which is why you stop losing weight. All these things happen to people that don't understand progressive overload. So that's what this video today is going to be about. Make sure you watch it through all the way to the end, because we're going to cover some very, very important parts of this principle. And if you overlook any of these, you're likely going to be setting yourself up for potential failure and plateauing in the future, when you can avoid it just by finishing this video right here. So let's talk about it. Okay, so how do you actually apply progressive overload? So it's not really just about adding weight, although that's an important component. It's a few things, right? You need to add weight progressively over time, but in small increments. If you bench press 135 pounds this week, try to bench press 140, 145 next week. The key here is going up in small increments and actually tracking what you're doing week by week, so that you actually know if what you're doing is correct or not. Because otherwise you're going to be flying blind, and that doesn't help anybody. Another example is decreasing your rest periods. So if you're, again, same example, you're bench pressing, squatting, whatever it is, and you normally rest for a minute and a half in between each set, time your rest periods. Maybe now rest for a minute and 15 seconds. If you can do the same amount of reps for the same weight with 15 seconds less of reps, then you got stronger. But a lot of people never track their rest periods. I see people go to the gym, they do their set, they're talking to people, they're checking their phone, they get up, do another set again, and they do that week after week after week. And I hate to say this because I'm not trying to sound like that guy, but I've seen people I've been going to the gym around for years that haven't made a lot of progress. And just seeing how people train day to day, I have a general idea of why. And don't get me wrong, these are still people that are hardworking people, and I still respect them for showing up to the gym every day. But scientifically, it does help me understand why people don't see progress compared to others, maybe. The other key thing with progressive overload is that you have to prioritize proper form over excessively adding weight. So as you're increasing weight, lowering the rest period, even exercise variability, doing supersets, things like that, if you don't do those things, if you don't prioritize form, you're going to set yourself up for injury. So another big thing is, don't do more than your body can handle. If a joint's hurting or it feels uncomfortable or whatever it may be, that's probably a reason why. Listen to your body. Slow down and just relax and just focus on the form. Too many people get in the gym and get concerned about people watching them work out, feeling like if they put too much or too light of a weight on the bar and do it slowly, they're going to look weak to the people around them. I promise you, I don't care. Other people in the gym don't care. Nobody cares. It's a waste of time to be thinking that way, and it's only going to stifle your progress. So make sure you focus on form and technique, because if you get that right early on, the amount of injuries you're going to prevent, the amount of joint strength you're going to build up over time, the way that's going to translate to just not only your gains and your muscle growth or fat loss goals, but just your overall life satisfaction by not being injured through all your years of training. If you could only understand how much headache you're probably going to be saving yourself from doing this, trust me, it's the way to go. One other thing I didn't mention is exercise variability and actively tracking things. If you want to make sure that you're consistently seeing progress, part of progressive overload is changing the exercises you do and the structure in which you do them. So for me, I was trying to get my chest bigger, and it was actually hard for me to do that at one point. And I was doing bench pressing and stuff, but after a year, I didn't see progress as fast. So I started doing this. I would bench press, and I would do 10 push-ups right after. Even if I was doing just the bar and then push-ups right after, and then maybe 90 pounds on the bar, right? And then 10 push-ups right after. Just adding that variability and a different way of stimulating my body allowed me to see a lot of progress. So that in and of itself is another great form of progressive overload. All right, and last thing is actually tracking your workouts. So you need to know over time. Maybe if you get like a notes app or you write it down, whichever type of person you are, make sure you're tracking what rest periods are you using week to week, how much weight are you moving week to week, what do your exercises look like week to week? Are you doing supersets? Are you doing one workout and then resting for a long time in between? If you don't track it, you're never going to have a clean, clear, accurate view of what it is you've been doing, why it hasn't been working, and the right way to adjust going forward. I can give you all the different ways to add progressive overload into your workout program all day long in this video, but if you don't actually track it and you don't pay attention to it, then you can't really implement anything I'm talking about here or use it effectively. So the most important thing in this video, although it's all important, but you have to track it. You just have to track it. There's really no way to get around that. So make sure you're doing that too. To wrap things up here, make sure you implement everything we talked about in this video. Track your workouts. Stay consistent. Focus on your form and your technique early, even if you have to lighten the weight. If you realize one of your techniques and one of your lifts has been off, start over again. Go light, get the technique right, and then build your way back up. So make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know maybe what some of your struggles are with progressive overload. Make sure you implement everything in this video. It is essential for your long-term progress. And I hope you guys come back for the next video. I love y'all. Peace.